when I was researching this ick a lot, this ick thing, a lot of therapists say do not ignore that feeling. So again, you do have to look at yourself, and I do think it's worth analyzing. Are you just being picky? Are you unnecessarily picking on someone? But even if you are, that might say something. It might just say either you're not into this person, you're not ready for a relationship the way you thought you were. Um, Whatever it is, it's telling you something. And a lot of experts say don't ignore it.
Yeah, but can I tell you something about my thoughts on experts?
Yeah.
I think there's too many. I think there's too much therapy. I think there's too much self-help. I think there's too much life coaching. And you're talking to a guy who reads 2 self-help books a week. I listen to 2. I can't read. Reading's very hard for me,
It's
but I
hard
listen to
for everybody
audiobooks.
now.
I think there's too much therapy. I'm pro therapy, but I am also anti therapy. I think people need to learn how to do things for themselves instead
Yeah.
of going to the internet, going to other people, going to TikTok for uh, acknowledgement or to reinforce their thoughts and beliefs.
Well, I think the difference with experts is also there's a lot of knowledge, but people aren't applying knowledge. So there's two different things. You have a lot of people talking, which is annoying, but very few people are actually doing the things that they should be doing. Because the truth is, you should not be. Um, I've been in therapy for like 10
Right.
years and maybe even more than that. And it's changed my life, but it changes my life because I'm not at all where I was 10 years ago because I literally go, I do my thing. She gives me homework and I apply it and I go home and I do it. So, yes, I
Have you been going
agree
to the
that
same therapist for 10 years?
this one because I moved. So, this one is maybe the longest, like 6 years.
Don't and this might be not even the podcast for that, but don't you like do you think therapists work when you find new ones? Because at some point you become a friend and you go to someone for too long. And
Oh
you're
no,
not, do you
she's
know what I mean?
not
Like,
my friend at all. She keeps me, and
do
that's
you
what I
think you
love.
can go to a therapist for too long without growing? Like without needing a change and needing a new
I think everybody has to find for me, therapy, I think the part that people get wrong is
yeah.
that they go to therapy just to vent their feelings. I go to therapy for tools and
Yeah.
solutions to problems. And so I try to not, um, you have same themes that come up because you're
Yeah.
working through something, let's say long term, but then you have these shorter term problems. Um, but, like, my therapist, I have a really good relationship with her at this point, but she's not like BFFs with me,
Right.
even though she's probably closer or maybe a little bit older than me. But she remembers everything I
Yeah.
say, that shit I forgot, like, 6 years ago that I told her, but it's much more about, like, tools and homework and go and do this, and then there's a boundary,
Yeah.
Where I talk to a lot of my other friends and they've just been with that person for 10 years and they're still going through the exact same
That's the
problem.
exact same problems.
But then to me, that's not a therapist problem. It's not an expert's problem. It's you as, again, the consumer of information. If you just want to consume, you can consume forever,
Right.
but you need to actually apply the things that you are learning.
Yeah.
Same with spirituality. I mean, if you look at a bookshelf right there,
Yeah.
I have a shit ton of those books because I'm obsessed.
Right.
And then I had to learn to stop and go, okay, like what I need to actually apply some of these
Right.
things.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, I know like even to bring this back to dating, I've pseudo dated some girls, we were in, whatever ambiguous things. Um and both of them were just getting out of like relationships and part of their one of the excuses was like, my therapist doesn't think I'm ready for to move on or to whatever, and it's like, okay, well, first off, fuck your therapist, I like you. Secondly, how does your therapist know what, because you only grow by experiencing and doing things, and if you're only going to listen to a therapist tell you what you can and cannot do or what they think is good or not for you without actually experiencing and growing, and same with like the icks of, you know, like like experts say you should listen to those, but maybe you shouldn't. Because if you listen to that little kernel, then you're just gonna if you're gonna listen to them and get an ick from them doing one little thing instead of working past it and actually working like the icks to me, it also is the ick um their fault? Or is it your fault for having such a hang up on that type of a thing if you like this person? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can I say something? I sense that you have been broken up with because of
This doesn't
because
look,
of
I have
an
other
ick.
reasons. I have other reasons for therapy. I don't know. Look, I've probably been
I've been broken. I mean, I've had people end things with me.
I don't look, my whole life. I mean, I'm 42 wearing pink and a plastic chain, and I got my fingernails half painted, and I had a mohawk for a bit, whatever. And my whole life is a Nick, but also my whole life is I mean, I have other things I'm working on. Like I have confidence issues as it is. I have no self confidence, and that's one thing I'm really really working on. And I'm getting better at, and just in general. But I'm sure I'm sure girls have lost it with me because of Nick. But also that's another thing I'm working on is of I'm too this is me. Often
$100%.
I saw a quote in an article from Tina Fey to Bowen Yang,
Yeah, I
who
saw.
was bad mouthing things. And this quote stuck with me. And this is a quote that really stuck with me. And since then I have it memorized. And I've heard similar phrases in other self-help books that I've been listening to, even though I think a lot of them are bullshit, but it's all, it's all
Mhm.
piece of taking slivers whenever you can get it or whatever. And the quote is authenticity is dangerous, and it's the most dangerous. And most of my life, I feel like I've always been my authentic self. There's times in my life where I've tried to put on different personas and I try to dress different and I try to act different, but at the heart, I'm who I am.
Mhm.
In groups of friends, in group threads, in whatever, I've lost friends over time. I've because I can be I'm the cop in the 80s movies who's the loose cannon and he plays by his own rules, but he's a good cop. And I'm a good friend and I'm a good guy and I'll make fun of everything. Nothing offends me. I'll make fun of everything and I'll say every kind of word in the book if it's for a joke and it's for a laugh or we're having an actual discussion about things. But at the heart of the core, I'm a Midwest kid from Michigan who means well, and I make it a point to not hate people because it's dangerous. Um, that being said, I'm also me all the time, and me all the time is a lot, and it's hard for me to even kind of try and rein in things.
Yeah.
And if I like someone, I like someone. Hey, if I like you, I like you. I'm gonna want to talk to you all the time. I'm gonna want to hang out with you when I can. I don't give a fuck how talented or busy you are. Text me a meme or something, also me. And when I try to play the game, like it's playing games is not. I'm great at playing games when it's not
Mhm.
actual, like when it's not these types of games. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well,
Does any of that make
it
sense?
totally makes sense
Because
to
this kind
me.
of goes off the rails as well.
No, no, it
But
comes back to the
I
ick in
am
the
the ick.
sense no, you are not the ick. It comes back to the idea that what you're saying is a lot of times people's authentic selves can give somebody else the ick.
Right.
And what I want to push back on, even with the quote that you said, is that authenticity is dangerous. Authenticity without awareness, without using critical judgment, is dangerous. What the mistake people make, again, I'm going to say what we were talking about being creative versus being a business person. People always think that you need to be all or nothing. It's all authentic or nothing. And they just take authenticity on the surface, which means you are your pure, authentic self all the time. The truth is, none of us know who we are to
Right.
be our authentic self all the time. You literally just railed off 10 things that you feel are wrong with you. So
Yeah.
you can't be your authentic self because you don't know what that true self is.
Right.
Part of who we are as humans is we have a brain
Hmm.
that allows us to have awareness and judgment. Now, my authentic self, might sit at home in pajamas, braless, with like looking like a monster, in an oversized hoodie. But when I go on stage or I go on a job interview, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So somebody could argue, well, you should be your authentic self. No, bitch. You know what is also a great quote in life, which is fucking Shakespeare, who says all the world is a stage and
Mhm.
all of us are merely players. We have our entrances and our exits, and all of us in our life play many parts. You can play all those parts authentically. I can be authentically a great daughter in that moment, but I also am not going to tell my mom about all the times I fuck.
Right.
even though that's what I would do with my friends authentically.
Well,
And
and
so this is where that mistake happens. I think what Tina Fey was saying to Bowen Yang, because I did watch that interview, was to say in his mind, he's justifying saying anything he wants about anybody because he's being authentic.
right,
And that can be dangerous without using your judgment or your awareness that you have a career to look out for.
right.
And you now cannot say these things because it's honestly not that nice. So if that is your authentic self, fucking fix yourself because that's actually not nice. I hope you guys enjoyed that video and check out our next one. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to this channel for more amazing dating, love, and relationship advice from me and so many expert guests. Follow us on socials. We're at Kinda Dating across the board. I'm Natasha Chandel, so you can find me too if you like. And join our newsletter on www.kindadating.com for lots of exclusives. See you soon.